Good morning and welcome back to FPU Side. I'm still your host, Josh. At the same time, today I'm also your policy analyst. What is the policy we have to analyze today is the social media ban 2026. So based on what MCNC brings out, start from July 2026, if you're under 16, there's a limiter for you to access the platforms such as TikTok and IG via of the EKYC, the electronic know your customer. So if you want to use this kind of platform, you have to verify by your my card. The reason why government brings up is because they're trying to avoid the cyberbullying due to with the teenager. At the same time, they're trying to stop the child sexual abuse material, the CSMA. So at this point, I think that is something that we have to discuss with public. Is this a potential or is it overreach? So for today's discussion, we invited the three very experienced full professors in their own fields. The developer psychologist, Miss Selina, the family psychologist, Miss Yagi, and the representation of the teenager nowadays, the high school counselor, Mr. Sasagi. Okay, thank you, three of you guys being here with me today. Are you guys okay with it? Are you guys ready for today's podcast? Can I feel your patience in this topic?
Yes,
thank you so much. Okay. So before we reach to the deep conversation on this topic, can we have a basic understanding like what is the effect for social media to teenagers nowadays, especially from the psychology part? Miss Selina?
So from a developmental psychology perspective, social media is not an entertainment platform. For adolescents, it acts as a social environment. It is like a digital community space to let them express their feelings and thoughts. According to Eric Erickson's psychosocial developmental theory, adolescence in this stage is called identity versus role confusions. So in this stage, they will focus on one question, which is who am I? Adolescence is periods of identity explorations where teenagers may experience with their belief, value, friendship, and also social role. Today, a lot of exploration occur online. Social media give adolescents a space to present themselves, receive peer feedback, and also shapes their self-concepts. So it shows that social media actively supports identity development through self-presentations and interact with others.
Thank you so much. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you mean that nowadays, social media means a lot for the teenager because one of the thing is this is the main way that how they interact with the real world right now, and the second thing is like this is a main tool that they access for shaping their own personality. So I can see if this main tool have some issue, it can bring some harms to the teenager itself. But it's still very blurred that like what kind of harm it will bring to the teenager. So for this part, the experience for high school counselor, can you give us some experience that you do in your career?
Okay, from high school counselor's point of view, in my high school, there was a student who came in to meet panic attack before. The first thing she did wasn't deep breathing. Instead, she reached for her phone to scroll a comfort feed.
Wow.
So for her, the screen is a digital blanket. That's how she regulates her nervous system in a high-stress hallway. So yeah, to us, it looks like a distraction, but to her, it's actually a life raft. Let me take another student I saw. He was trying to focus on his chemistry work, but his phone keeps buzzing and keeps distracting him. So what happens there was the photos of his friends hanging out without him were sent to the group chat. It's worse than just fear of missing out. It's like seeing a high-def notification of your own rejection right in the middle of class.
Yeah.
So yeah, we see the form problems here, but I see the emotional labor. These students are constantly balancing their online status with their real-world presence. And honestly, they are exhausted. Yeah, so it's not about the device. It's about the pressure that they are feeling through. So yeah, that's a situation that I see in high school.
Yeah, I agree with your view with your point. I think you bring something like life itself is quite exhausting for especially for teenagers nowadays. You have to deal with the school, you have to deal with the friend and the parents and all your homework and everything. At the same time, now we add on another thing to let them have a fight, to let them to sucking out their attention, at the same time trying to burn them with another level. That is something that is very important. Now I see why government brings out this policy. So, but it's still a very experience based. Can we have something is very theory based, very evidence proof? Mr. Yagi can help me with that.
Okay, so if I would say if there's any benefit for this time span from the perspectives of view of family psychologists, that would be we can provide children with the shield to protect them from being exposed to harmful contents online. So we all know that cyberbullying and reduced psychological well-being are nowadays like pervasive problems among Malaysian teens. And especially for cyberbullying, that causes like severe anxiety and depression among Malaysian teens. But also we have to mention about social comparison. We all know how we only portray our ideal self or like the good aspects of our life on social media online. So for viewers, they only see like kind of like created contents and they just start comparing themselves with like their own reality. But what they see is like kind of ideal self. So they start like developing some sort of like inferiority complex, which is leading to like a skewed body image that further develops them like having eating disorder and sense of inferiority to others on social media. So this ban can maybe prevent children from navigating through these two like pervasive problems.
Okay, yeah, I think I agree with your viewpoint. Like as a adult who claims himself is quite positive in psychologist, me myself I also compare myself with the image I see in Instagram, and sometimes that kind of content I saw in the social media, I even myself cannot say that this is 100% true or this is 100% fact. So I can see that this kind of content being shown to teenager, especially when they don't have a know what is the good value in their life, this would literally bring some harm or something risk for them in their life. But I think every single news article or podcast or even video, they're all talking about the cyberbullying. So from your professional viewpoint, can you tell us how serious is this issue during with teenager? Because why we have to keep mention about this term?
Okay, so according to one empirical study conducted in Malaysian high school, the 80% of the students has once been victimized by cyberbullying.
80%.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So not only 80% of victimization, but also 20% of them has once became a perpetuator. So yeah, actually like it's up to you how you interpret this ratio as. But for Malaysian government, it's kind of alarming rate.
So you mean that 4 out of 5 of the teenagers experience cyberbullying or involved in cyberbullying nowadays? Okay.
Right.
Okay, that's a strong evidence that why government brings up this policy lah. So, okay, so when we talk about brings up this policy, what is this policy trying to fix? What is the problem they're trying to solve? From your professional perception, Mr. Sasagi, you are the most closer with the teenagers. What is the phenomena you expect to see after they brings up this policy?
Okay. First, simply, you have to talk about sleep because my office is full of digital zombies. Meaning, students are physically in class but mentally offline because they were scrolling until 3 a.m. Their brains are still developing, thus they lack impulse control to put their phone away. So that's why I believe this bank can give them the rest back. Also can give them the ability to learn eventually. Moreover, this bank can stop the 24/7 cycle of distress. In the past without social media, it used to be that if you were bullied at school or if you got any troubles at school, home was your safe zone. But right now, online troubles follow them even into their bedrooms. Hence why I need to spend most of my mornings to mediate their fights that started in a comment section at midnight. So yeah, students don't have a safe zone even at home. Therefore, removing this platform can by removing this platform, we can restore the sanctuary of the home. So we can make the home a safe zone again. Is it a total fix? Actually, no. We still need a digital literacy to teach healthy habits. But right now, our students are drowning in a digital ocean without a life vest. This ban isn't about taking away their fun. It's about protecting their right to sleep, their right to peace, their right to mental well-being free from 24/7 social pressure. So yeah, that's how banning the use of social media can mitigate the issue that they're going through.
Thank you so much for add-ons. I'm kind of agree with your viewpoint that now house is the second of the war zone for the teenagers nowadays, because they are not only have to deal with the real life settings, the people that they're dealing with the in the school or outside of the house. When you go back to the house, you also have to fight with the people on the online. You also have to see, oh, is this or the image or is true? Is the information is true? How is that thing? I think it will cause the burn of the student, right?
Exactly.
Thank you so much for add on. That's a very good point. But also, you mentioned that this policy is not total fix yet. Perfectioners, which means that there are still some risk behind it, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh wow! Explain to me. Tell me what is the fact, Miss Selena?
So as I mentioned earlier, social media act as a social lifeline for adolescents. Many young people use social media to share concern about their stress, relationship, friendship, and also their identity issue, which this topic they might not feel comfortable sharing with adults. So for some adolescents, online communications may be the only space that they feel safe to express their feelings and thoughts. So although like a complete ban might protect them from certain online risks, it also unintentionally create offline consequences, which is the psychological isolation. Without access to the social space, adolescents may experience loneliness, withdrawing from the social interaction, and also communicate less with others. As a result, adolescents are affected by a feeling of boredom and also social disconnections. Therefore, restricting social media could let the adolescents find it difficulty to communicate face to face.
Thank you so much, Ms. Selena. I think I'm kind of agree with your viewpoint that this if we ban some of this social media, it will bring some trouble for the student when they come to real life, because there's something that they are already used to it for interacting themselves, especially for someone is introvert. Thank you so much. What about you, Mr. Yagi?
Okay, so I have two concerning about this time regulation. The first is the ban itself might not work as it's intent to be. So although like children have to verify their accounts by providing their identifications, they can still take their identifications from their parents, older brothers, or even friends. Right?
You mean that there's still a bug in this in this policy that can access by others' way?
Yeah, exactly.
My God, that's a big elephant there.
Yeah, in that case, not only this regulation is nonsense, but children also like secretly steal their identifications, right? So that might cause another trust issues between children and family. So the second is that even though the ban is effective, it might hinder children from developing some essential skills like digital literacy. So we all know anyway, once we become adults, we have to use social media for networking, for professional usage. So why don't we get used to those kind of harmful environment and navigating through those kind of how to deal with them with their caregivers or guardians at the early stage. But this regulation only allows them to start exploring from 16 years old, which might be insufficient amount of time for them to completely develop the proficiency in acquiring digital literacy. So these are the two problems.
Thank you so much. I think you brings up a very important point that, okay, just imagine suddenly drop one of us to a jungle. How can we survive in this point if we don't have any knowledge to deal with that? So for children, since when they are born until 16, they are not allowed to use social media, and suddenly one day everything is open. Okay, you can trying to expose yourself in the online world. Imagine how much harm you brings to a children if they don't use it properly.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big elephant in the room right now. You mean that if this ban can be accessed through some bugs,
Yep.
like using their parents' ID card?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's something that we have to all have to discuss. So from my perception, I don't think that's a good way for us to using, because you trying to ban the social media, but you're not banning that. Okay, now I think we have to talk about the alternative. Like, if this thing is not working, is how we can replace it, or how we can support this policy to run in the future, because
True.
that's 100% we're gonna run out in our country already. So, Mr. Sasagi, can you tell us?
Okay, instead of banning the social media, teaching the algorithm is essential. When students realize they are manipulated for profit, they actually want to put the phone down. Also, using lockers or pouches to keep their phones in during class is effective, as we can see some Western countries. It's not a ban, it's a cognitive break. It's about creating a space to focus, not banning the device. Also, designing laws is important. Stop blaming the 15-year-old brain. They can't resist the dopamine rewards. Instead, start regulating the tech. We need to kill infinite scroll for minors. It's a design problem, not a discipline problem. We can't lock the doors to the digital world. So our job is to give them the keys. So let's raise citizens, not outlaws.
Yeah, I think I quite agree with your point. Instead of just totally ban them, we should give them a proper education that how they can access with the social media. What is the good attitude? What is the knowledge you need to have to protect yourself in the social media itself? Because that is something that is powerful. We can't just suddenly ban them without telling them how you're gonna deal with that after 16 also.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What about you, Mr. Yagi?
Okay, for like family psychology perspective of view, we strongly suggest having parenting mediating role instead of total ban. So according to one empirical study, the combination of active discussion about SNS usage and non-intrusive model from the parents is the most effective. Yeah. So for like active discussion model, the parents and children can actively discuss about what information to disclose online, and like we also can ensure that children stop using social media once they feel potential threat or danger as they use it. So for non-intrusive model, maybe the parents can like follow their accounts or maybe be friends with them online. But importantly, they have to gain the children's permission to follow and be friends. If no, that causes another trust issue between them, then like developing reactance from the children's side. So yeah, we have to make sure that one. So for me, this time's Malaysian regulation sounds like a second one, which is like really high intrusive model, because like they are banning children to do something. So it might be ineffective or causing another conflicts between the family dynamics. So that's why I'm strongly suggesting to have education with the guardians when they're still young enough to explore this kind of contents.
Thank you so much. I think that you brings up a very important role in this topic, which is the parents. Parents should be the first screening for the children in all of the topics. They are the first teacher they met in their life. So, and nowadays, what is the ability that the parents have is very important to the children also, because how you teach your children is how they're growing up in the future. Thank you so much. What about you, Mr. Selena?
I would like to suggest an age-appropriate platform design. So rather completely remove adolescents from social media, policymaker could regulate how the platform designed for the user under the age of 16. So adolescents are sensitive with peer feedback because the brain region reward system is developed earlier than the self-control system. As a result, social approval such as like, comment, follower counts can strongly influence their behavior. Neuroimaging research shows that receiving more likes activate the reward process region in adolescent brains. So hiding the public like counts will reduce social comparison and also the pressure to perform their online identity.
Thank you so much. I think that you also brings out another very important role that is very rarely to be discussed in this topic, which is on the platform itself. If you can blame the players, you should blame the games. Online platform is supposed to be the first one to protect their own user, but now this part of the responsible is being lack of taken by any single part of the society, user, platform, government. So now government has to bring some a policy to totally ban for the children. But I don't think that is something that is suitable for right now, right? So I think in this room, can we agree with this? This policy itself is something that overreach already. Yeah,
yeah.
Because it's something that still have some bug. At the same time, the psycho well-being is not fully been taken care of, because even that you banning this social media, the mental health issue didn't been fixed up. At the same time, you also can bring up another fuse the mental health issue for the children, just like what we talk about, like the loneliness, especially for the introvert. Also, it's not fully banned. That's something that we have to mention again. Therefore, all of the just like all of the professional you guys brings up, no matter it's the student or the platform or the parents, everyone in society have to be involved to deal with this problem. It's not something about teenagers already. It's the whole society. Thank you so much for all of you guys to teaching me so much knowledge. So before we go back, can we give a one shot to let our audience to take back, to let them to have a figure out like what is their role in this society? Mr. Selena? Yes.
So as a developmental psychologist, for young people, social media might be a part of you, but it isn't everything.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yagi.
Okay, if I summarize my point of view today, maybe like instead of a total ban, let's have a conversation within family dynamics.
Good point, Mr. Sasagi.
Okay, as a high school counselor, to the educators, regulate the design, not the children. Give them the keys to the digital world, not a cage. That's all.
Thank you so much. For my part, for the policymakers, don't try to fix the problem by one shot. Trying to bring some more following policy to support your policy now, because it's clearly still have a bug for right now. So based on what discussion today, having a psychological perspective in regulation is very important in this kind of topic.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for three of you guys being here, and I think me and my audience have take a lot of knowledge about this topic right now. And thank you so much for my audience, and see you next time.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.